2023 NFL full first round mock draft. Let's get straight into this thing. Now, this will include some trades. It's not going to include too many trades. So with the first trade and with the first pick, I have the Chicago Bears trading back with the Indianapolis Colts. Have the Indianapolis Colts selecting Bryce Young, quarterback from Alabama. This team desperately needs a quarterback. All right, you go back to when Andrew Luck retired. They've been stuck in this situation for years now. They had to depend on Jacoby Brissett, Phillip Rivers. You had Carson Wentz and Matt Stafford, and Sam Elder came in there and played some games for you. It doesn't work. And even Frank Reich got fired because of it. You get a guy like Bryce Young, phenomenal playmaker, amazing quarterback, 32 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. He wasn't surrounded around all those usual great Alabama players. He was dealing with one of the least talented Alabama teams. Not saying that Alabama wasn't talented, but he carried them over the hump a lot, and he can do it at the next level. Phenomenal playmaker in space, huge arm, does have some size concerns, but he fits the need for the Indianapolis Colts, and this team can be right back on top in the AFC South Division, competing with the Tennessee Titans and the Jacksonville Jaguars. With the second overall pick, speaking of the AFC South, I have another team in the AFC South, the Houston Texans, going with a quarterback, C.J. Stroud. This man is phenomenal at Ohio State. You have Bryce Young and him. They're 1A, 1B. You can interchange them. C.J. Stroud has more of the size than Bryce Young, but he has some sneaky mobility. Has a huge arm, 41 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, was phenomenal at Ohio State, has great poise, great accuracy. And the Houston Texans, since trading Deshaun Watson, they have a huge hold at the quarterback position for some time now. You got a brand new coach, D'Amico Ryans. Go on to get him his franchise quarterback early and get this rebuild started the right way. With the third overall pick, I can see the Arizona Cardinals trading back here. I can see them making a major trade, but I would love for them to stay in this spot because you're getting the best defensive player in this draft class. Will Anderson, defensive end slash linebacker from Alabama. Phenomenal player, game wrecker, can give you pressure off the edge, something that this team is desperately going to need. When you look at this roster, they lost J.J. Watt to retirement. J.J. Watt led this team in sacks. You need to get more pass rush. And what better way to get pass rush than go out there and get the best defensive player in the NFL draft in Will Anderson. With the fourth overall pick, the Chicago Bears. Remember, they traded with the Indianapolis Colts. I have them selecting Jalen Carter, defensive tackle from Georgia. This is high to pick a defensive tackle, but we ain't talking about just any defensive tackle. Generational talent, in my opinion. Doesn't have the high sack numbers, but he will generate a lot of pressure and will open up things for guys off the edge. The Chicago Bears need to work on their offensive course. I believe they do that in free agency, but getting a guy like Jalen Carter to come in there, stop the run, open up the pass rushing lanes for other guys, and he can also get to the quarterback at times and can play across the defensive line. You're doing the right thing, and you're getting your defense in the right situation with Jalen Carter. With the fifth overall pick, I have another defensive lineman going off the board. Myles Murphy, defensive end from Clemson. He would be a match made in heaven with the Seattle Seahawks, considering the fact that they have Uchenna Nwosu, who had a phenomenal season, 9.5 sacks, had a career breakout year. You have Darrell Taylor on that team, but you want to get consistent pass rush, and that's what Uchenna Nwosu can do for you. And you mix that in with Myles Murphy, those are two speed demons. And you have your back end consist of Tariq Woolen, Quandre Diggs, a returning Jamal Adams. The Seattle Seahawks can go from being one of the worst defenses into the league to being middle of the pack, or to being one of the top defenses in the league. With Pete Carroll's knowledge, all they need to do is get that pass rush, and secondary needs to play at the same and just improve a little bit. Seattle Seahawks will be back on top sooner than later. And remember, this is a team that made the playoffs and no one thought they were going to make it. So getting a guy like Myles Murphy will help out a lot. Sixth overall pick, the Detroit Lions can go a lot of ways here. They can go defensive line. They need someone to match alongside Aiden Hutchinson. That would be great. They can go linebacker here. They can even go into the secondary. This is a defense that was very bad at the beginning of the season, got better over time, and they're almost in the playoffs. Ultimately, I know Jeff Okudah did play better, but he still didn't play up to that first round pick level, in my opinion. Christian Gonzalez will come in and help out that immediately. Can be your number one corner and can shut out receivers on day one. Amazing coverage corner from Oregon. He will fit the system with this team and will be an excellent addition to match up with guys like Jeff Okudah and your pass rusher Aiden Hutchinson. Seventh overall pick. The Las Vegas Raiders need defense. they desperately need it. But they just cut their quarterback in Derek Carr. Do you believe Jarrett Stidham can be the guy long term, or do you just hope that you can get a quarterback next year? I have them going Will Levis here, quarterback from Kentucky. He is a bit of a project player, but he fits what Josh McDaniels was like. Huge arm, good upside, had some good times at Kentucky, didn't have the best team around him, but he has all the elite traits of what a franchise quarterback is and what he should be. I believe Josh McDaniels can develop him into the right situation with Devontae Adams and Josh Jacobs. He's going into an amazing situation. You can sit him behind a veteran like a Jimmy Garoppolo or a Jarrett Stidham, but I believe Will Levis in due time would be an amazing franchise quarterback for this team. With the 8th overall pick out of the Atlanta Falcons selecting Tyree Wilson, defensive end from Texas Tech / linebacker. This is a man that gives you immediate pass rush. The Atlanta Falcons have struggled to get at the quarterback for quite some time now. They haven't gotten a consistent pass rusher since Vic Beasley, and that's been years ago. Grady Jarrett needs help off that defensive tackle, for him being the defensive tackle, and sometimes even pairing up at the defensive end. So you need to go out there and get Tyree Wilson to help out Grady Jarrett, and also help out the guys in the secondary like AJ Terrell and guys of that nature. With the 9th overall pick, the Carolina Panthers. This team has needed a quarterback for some years now. They're in luck. Having to go in Anthony Richardson, quarterback. This is a guy that needs a lot of time to develop. But the Carolina Panthers do have a lot of good weapons. You have DJ Moore, you have Terrence Marshall, who is a really good wide receiver. You have a good run game, Deontay Foreman, Chuba Hubbard. They have a brand new head coach in Frank Reich, who I believe can develop almost any quarterback. I can see them trying to sign a veteran and letting Anthony Richardson sit behind him, and they can stop rolling the dice on guys like Baker Mayfield and Sam Darnold to try to be your quarterbacks for the future, because it hasn't worked and they haven't gotten their quarterback room situated since Cam Newton left this team. With the 10th overall pick, now, this may be a bit of a controversial pick for a lot of people. The Philadelphia Eagles going Keon White, defensive end from Georgia Tech. I know that a Georgia Tech product going this high is very rare, but Keon White gives you a lot of pass rush. And what is one thing the Philadelphia Eagles love? Pass rush. Why did they lose a Super Bowl in huge part? Because of pass rush. You need to go out there and get guys that consistently go out there and get after the quarterback. They had that last year. Hassan Reddick. They had Brandon Graham, Fletcher Cox, Jordan Davis. I understand that. But a lot of those guys are going to be free agents. You bring in Keon White, can be an amazing replacement for one of those guys. And it can be good depth as well as he develops off the bench. And you can't ever have too much pass rush in the NFL, as the Philadelphia Eagles saw in the Super Bowl. With the 11th overall pick, the Tennessee Titans go a lot of ways here. You know, they can go defense, but they need to go offensive line. Peter Skarronsky, tackle from Northwestern. They're going to release Taylor Lewan. Ryan Tannehill stayed beat up last year. Part of the reason why Ryan Tannehill stayed beat up, they couldn't protect him. He dealt with all type of ankle injuries, and he kept getting sacked and kept getting hit. You're going to release Taylor Lewan, bring in Peter Skarronsky. Nasty tackle, amazing in the pass game, amazing in the run game as well. Will open up lanes for Derrick Henry, and is nasty around those cut blocks as well when you want to swing him and let him be a swing tackle. But he's usually a guy that's standing up, and he's going to be a great blindside protector for Ryan Tannehill. With the 12th overall pick, the Houston Texans could go wide receiver. A lot of people have them going with Quentin Johnson right here. I have them going with Quentin Johnson as well, but I look at this team defensively. They have a brand new head coach in DeMeco Ryans. Defensive head coach. Lucas Van Ness will be amazing on this team. Will give you pass rush immediately, and he fits the DeMeco Ryans system. What is one thing DeMeco Ryans had a lot with the San Francisco 49ers? Pass rush. And what can Lucas Van Ness go out there and do? Get at the quarterback. The Houston Texans couldn't do that last year. So you have your offensive chess piece for years of C.J. Stroud, and you come back and use your franchise pass rusher and Lucas Van Ness. And you can get a wide receiver in free agency, or you can get one in the second round, because this is a deep wide receiver class. With the 13th overall pick, the New York Jets could go safety. They can go across the offensive line. I have them going offensive line here. Mekhi Becton can't stay healthy. Elijah Vera-Tucker showed you last year he's a good guard, but when you put him at the tackle, he can be a franchise tackle as well. So go out there and get your Paris Johnson, tackle from Ohio State. Very good pass protector. And this is what the New York Jets need. If you want Zach Wilson to be the starting quarterback next year, or Mike White, or even a veteran quarterback that you get in free agency or trade, you need to fix your offensive line. So you get Paris Johnson, match him up with Elijah Vera Tucker. If Mekhi Becton can stay healthy, we could be looking at a situation with this, because we know Mekhi Becton is good when he's able to stay healthy. You can go Mekhi Becton, Paris Johnson, they're both good tackles. Elijah Vera Tucker, back to guard. That is a very good offensive line, and it could be a very good thing for Breece Hall as well, to open up those rushing lanes for him. With the 14th overall pick, the New England Patriots need help, man. They need a wide receiver. They need tackles. They need cornerback help. But what is one thing Bill Belichick is known to do? Get defensive players. And every time he gets a wide receiver in the first round, it just doesn't work out. So I have them going Joey Porter Jr., cornerback from Penn State. I know a lot of people would like to see him go to the Pittsburgh Steelers, but the New England Patriots would be an excellent fit. They just saw what Sauce Gardner just did with the New York Jets. So you go out there and you get a similar corner to his frame. He can do things that Sauce Gardner did with the New York Jets, and with Bill Belichick behind him and coaching him the ins and out of the game, that is going to be a very scary thing for that division going forward. He does have some rawness to his game, but he is still a very good prospect in my opinion, and this would be a home run hit for the New England Patriots. With the 15th overall pick, the Green Bay Packers don't have too many holes to fill, in my opinion. You could go defense here, but they've been going defense in the first round for years. Quarterback is going to either be Aaron Rodgers or Jordan Love, depending on the free agency situation, the darkness retreat that Aaron Rodgers is going on. The wide receivers played extremely well after the bye week and played extremely well after the second half of the season, but they need tight end help. All of their tight ends right now, as I record this video, are all free agents, and I don't see them re-sign any of those guys. Michael Mayer, tight end from Notre Dame, amazing blocker, amazing in open field, can do everything for you, and will be a consistent target for either Jordan Love or Aaron Rodgers. Jordan Love long term, and will match up extremely well with guys like Christian Watson and Romeo Doubs on the outside. We give these guys another weapon to use in that play action game with those running backs as well, and will also help out the Green Bay Packers longer in the playoffs, if you ask me, especially in the red zone situations. With the 16th overall pick, the Washington Commanders, man, they can go a lot of ways as well. You know, this team still needs some offensive help. They need offensive line help. I have them going Osiris Torrance, interior lineman. He can play all over the offensive line. He didn't play too much at tackle. He has a size to play tackle, but when he's at guard, he's a road runner. And this team needs pass protecting help, and they need run blocking help as well. This man will come in here and help protect Sam Howell and help open up those rushing lanes for guys like Brian Robinson Jr. and for Antonio Gibson. With the 17th overall pick, the Pittsburgh Steelers. This is another team. They need secondary help, but I believe they're going to go offensive line here. Kenny Pickett did struggle the first half of the season when he was starting. Most of it was because he didn't have that much time in the pocket. You go out there and you get a franchise tackle in Broderick Jones. Broderick Jones comes in, played 400 snaps last season, no sacks allowed. 400 plus snaps with no pressures, with no sacks. That is crazy. That is amazing, and this would be a steal for the Pittsburgh Steelers to get. And this is very likely that they will get Broderick Jones here. The Pittsburgh Steelers have struggled with their offensive line since guys like David DeCastro retired, Maurice Pouncey and crew. You go out there and you get this type of tackle, you'll be going right back to where you need to be, and hopefully that's to the NFL playoffs, and hopefully it will help out Kenny Pickett and Najee Harris in the long term. With the 18th overall pick, the second first round pick of the Detroit Lions, I have them going Brian Breezy, defensive tackle from Clemson. They missed out on the defensive line with their first pick in my mock draft. I have them going with Christian Gonzalez. Brian Breezy is a bit of a developmental player. He is a very good prospect. He doesn't get the high sack numbers, in my opinion, that you would like to see, but he will get a lot of pressure. And you have him matched up with Aiden Hutchinson. It will help stop the run, and he fits the mold of what Dan Campbell likes, a guy that will bite kneecaps off, and that's what Brian Breezy will do. Has dealt with a huge injury in the past, but he's gotten better over time. I believe you bring him in with the Detroit Lions, a team that desperately needs defensive help. He will come in and be a great placeholder for that team for years. Bringing it back with the 19th overall pick, I had the Tampa Bay Buccaneers selecting Cam Smith, cornerback from South Carolina. This team needs secondary help, and their safeties are decent. Their linebackers are very good. The defensive line and defensive pressure did take a step back with Shaquille Barrett tearing his Achilles. But you have Cam Smith here. He fits what Todd Bowles wants to do. A very good glue corner, in my opinion. Can press well in man, plays extremely well in zone. He's a guy that fits what Todd Bowles wants to do. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they'll be back to prominence with this team if they go out there and get Cam Smith. They're not in one of the top competitive divisions in the league. But if you go out there and get Keon Smith, they help stop guys on the perimeter like DJ Moore, you'll be on to something. With the 20th overall pick, I have the Seattle Seahawks selecting Trent Simpson, linebacker from Clemson. This team needs all defensive help in the world, but going out there and getting a linebacker that can cover in space, that's very violent with his sideline speed, he will help out here. Jordan Brooks is going to miss the first half of the season with a torn ACL, but when he does come back, you pair these guys up together, you got two road runners that can be franchise linebackers for this team for years to come. Jordan Brooks is an automatic tackle machine, but Trent Simpson can come in, can tackle, cover running backs out the backfield, and also can cover tight ends as well in space. And he fits what Pete Carroll wants. Has a lot of speed and can hit hard. With the 21st overall pick, no wide receivers have been taken so far. The Los Angeles Chargers are in a blessed situation here. They can go Quentin Johnson, they can go Jordan Addison, they can go Zay Flowers. So in my mock draft, I have the Los Angeles Chargers selecting Jordan Addison, wide receiver from USC. Instant playmaker with Keenan Allen, Mike Williams, and all of those guys up front. The thing is with Jordan Addison, he is a very good route runner. Reminds me a lot of Calvin Ridley. And it's something that the Los Angeles Chargers need. They have lacked a guy that can go out there and get open with just his speed without his route running ability. Can burn corners and safeties deep and will thrive as number 1 or number 2 or 3 wide receiver with this team. They need wide receiver depth due to Keenan Allen and Mike Williams both having an injury history. Jordan Addison comes in, is a bit slight on the frame, but will work out very well with this team. With the 22nd overall pick, the Baltimore Ravens get blessed as well. Have them going Quentin Johnson, wide receiver from TCU, big body receiver, big body playmaker, does have some drop concerns. You worry about, is he a Brashard Perriman 2.0, or is he going to be another great target for Lamar Jackson and crew? This team has struggled to trade for wide receivers, and they struggle to get wide receivers in free agency. This is a guy that's a huge target for Lamar Jackson, can get open down the field, and is amazing with the run after the catch. Something that the Baltimore Ravens instantly need, and it gives you a lot of juice on this team at the wide receiver position. With the 23rd overall pick, I can see the Minnesota Vikings going wide receiver here. Adam Thielen is taking a step back. All they really have is Justin Jefferson and crew. KJ Osborne is really good, but this team needs a lot of defensive help. Having to go on Keelan Ringo, cornerback from Georgia. They need to go secondary here. Patrick Peterson is still a good veteran corner, but you need guys in that secondary. They did deal with some injuries last season in the secondary, but bringing in a guy like Keelan Ringo, who will need some time to develop before you see him at his highest ceiling, but they have Brian Flores. He fits what Brian Flores will do on the defensive side, and he's an amazing defensive coordinator. Bring in Keelan Ringo. He can be your number 1 corner on this team for years to come. With the 24th overall pick, have the Jacksonville Jaguars selecting Anton Harris, tackle from Oklahoma. I can see them letting some tackles walk in free agency, but they still need to get some help on that offensive line. Regardless if they let tackles walk or not, you need to protect your Ferrari and Trevor Lawrence, and the best way to do that is just keep getting guys up front that can protect him and give him time in the pocket. With the 25th overall pick, I have the New York Giants selecting Zay Flowers, wide receiver from Boston College. This is a man that will come in, give you automatic production. The New York Giants struggled a lot. And when I tell you a lot, they struggled a lot with wide receivers getting open down the field. Sterling Shepard got hurt early in the season. Wan'Dale Robinson got hurt. So you had Daniel Jones out there throwing in guys like Richie James Jr. and Darius Slayton. No slight to those guys, but Zay Flowers, great deep threat, can make some things happen in open field on his own. And it's nothing like Kadarius Toney with the off the field issues. That's what people want to talk about. Zay Flowers, amazing in open field and amazing after the catch. And you also can put him on kick and punt return, but he would be Daniel Jones' best friend in this system with Brian Dable. The 26th overall pick, the Dallas Cowboys, had a running back problem this year. And I'm not talking about Tony Pollard. Tony Pollard was electric, but he can't carry the ball more than 20, 25 times a game without him losing his spark and his juice. And he's going to be coming off a pretty nasty injury that he suffered against San Francisco 49ers. Ezekiel Elliott is still there, but he's not the same running back. Have him going with Bijan Robinson, running back from Texas. He ain't got to move too far. Go on and just stay at home. The Dallas Cowboys and put him in with this system. They may let Ezekiel Elliott go, or they may cut him before free agency hits so they can save some money so he can go around to some other guys. But regardless if they want Ezekiel Elliott to stay or not, Bijan Robinson should be the pick right here. He's a running back that you can get some new mileage out of because you ran all the mileage out of Ezekiel Elliott, and he's just not the same running back anymore. Ezekiel Elliott can carry you throughout the entire season. Bijan Robinson has a home run ability, can catch the ball at the backfield, and reminds me a lot of Todd Gurley. With the 27th overall pick, the Buffalo Bills selecting Andrew Voorhees, interior lineman from USC, can play left guard for you, can play right guard for you. The reason why the Buffalo Bills keep coming up short in the playoffs isn't because of the running backs that they have. It's because those guys aren't physical up front. You need to get some physical offensive linemen up front to help out Josh Allen by giving him a consistent run game. And by doing that, you're getting more guys up front that can clear out those rushing lanes for you. And that is something that Andrew Voorhees can do coming out of USC. A very nasty offensive lineman. With the 20th overall pick, the Cincinnati Bengals still dealt with some offensive line issues. So I have them going Darnell Riddle, tackle from Tennessee. Big tackle. It's a guy I can see sliding to the second round. But we know one thing about Cincinnati Bengals. They see Joe Burrow get hit a lot. They went in free agency last year. They went and got a plethora of offensive linemen. You go out there and get Darnell Riddle from Tennessee, he's going to help solve that need immediately. He's going to help come in and be a great protector for Joe Burrow for years to come. Does struggle at times against speed rushers, but is very good against the power rushers. He just needs more development with his footwork, but he will be a very good tackle for this team. With the 29th overall pick, after New Orleans Saints going B.J. Ojulari, defensive end from LSU. He doesn't have to go too far. It's a man that can come in and give you automatic pressure. They may cut Cam Jordan due to cap concerns. They may keep him. But regardless of what they should do, they should be ready for Cam Jordan's departure with this team, whether it's by retirement or he wants to leave. Cam Jordan is still a very good defensive end, but you can also get a guy that can go alongside with him or can help develop behind him. And that's what B.J. Ojulari can do. With the 30th overall pick, the second pick in the first round for the Philadelphia Eagles, have them selecting Emmanuel Forbes, cornerback from Mississippi State. They may hold on to James Bradberry. They may not. The Philadelphia Eagles have a lot of cap that they need to work with in the cap space area. They're going to have to make a lot of tough decisions. So they keep James Bradberry. That would be awesome. I know that he had the holding penalty that essentially lost him the game, but he was still a good corner for this team. But a lot of people have been saying that he was holding throughout the season. Emmanuel Forbes comes in from Mississippi State, still a good cover corner. Didn't deal with that many penalties at Mississippi State and is an amazing defensive player. He would be amazing alongside Darius Slay. And with the last pick in the first round, I had the Super Bowl champions, Kansas City Chiefs, going Jackson Smith-Njigba, wide receiver from Ohio State. Now, a lot of people may say this. Why do you have him slipping all the way down to the last pick in the first round? He's come off a major injury. And the thing is, it was a hamstring injury, so it's not too major, but it was a hamstring injury. Some people are questioning, hey, did he want to play? Did he not want to play? So a lot of people try to put the character concerns out there just to make him slip down. I can see the other wide receivers getting priority over him for the simple fact that he isn't a transcendent wide receiver talent. He did have the crazy game in the Rose Bowl a couple years ago. But when you look at him, he's a guy that's a good, speedy slot wide receiver. Can he play on the outside consistently? We will see. Reminds me a lot of a faster Juju Smith-Schuster. And you put him in with the system with Patrick Mahomes, he'll be amazing. So let me know how you feel about this NFL mock draft. If you're new to the channel, hit the subscribe button. If you like the video, hit the like button. Most importantly, we want each and every last one, guys, stay safe, stay positive. Thanks for watching the video, guys. Peace.